do we get here? That's crazy, bro. Like, yeah, this is common. Bro, we are so back.
I knew him as a very young man. Now he's just a young man. And he's done a fantastic job, Mr. President.
They're talking specifically about, I think, 29 or 30-year-old Kilmar, right? Kilmar Abrigo, right? They're talking about that person, right? They're not talking about any other person. I'm pretty sure when I read AP News again, right, they're specifically talking about Kilmar, the innocent person.
It's an honor to have you.
Thank you.
You're really incredibly
Content president, that's right.
And we appreciate working with you because you want to stop crime, and so do we. And it's very, very effective. And I want to just say hello to the people of El Salvador and say they have one hell of a president. Okay, and I mean that.
Well, they love him over there. Like, this dude's approval ratings in El Salvador are through the fucking roof. Like, they love him.
Wait. So do we care more about El Salvador's people's approval ratings, or do we approve more of, you know, what people think, how people think Trump is doing right now on the economy and such? Like, which one do we care about? Do we care about our own citizens? Hello?
Well, I know him as a very young man, Marco. Even younger than you. You know, he started pretty young.
Little Marco.
I'll always be younger.
Yeah.
Young at heart. But I want to thank you for the great job you're doing. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, it's an honor to be here in the Oval Office with the president and leader of the free world. We're very happy, and we're very eager to help. We know that
that's right.
We have a crime problem, a terrorism problem that you need help with.
Yep.
And we're a small country, but if we can help, we can do it. And we actually turned the murder capital of the world. That was the journalist.
That's what's crazy is that, like, 10 years ago, I would always use El Salvador as an example for a PvP server. And then this guy came in and just flipped the script.
Right. Murder capital of the world into the safest country in the Western Hemisphere.
It's impressive, it is.
And
So it's okay to blaze dictators now? Like, pretty sure Bukeke or Bukalele, all right, he's a self-described dictator. Yeah, he's a self-described dictator. And we don't even know if the polls are accurate, okay? We don't even know, like, if murders are unreported for whatever reason to make him look good. We just don't know any of these whatsoever. He declared an emergency state where he suspended basic rights, right?
You know, sometimes they say that we imprisoned thousands. I like to say that we actually liberated millions.
He didn't imprison thousands, he liberated millions. This is absolutely fucking true. Is that you have a handful of parasites that cause all of the problems, and then after you get rid of them, then the problems go away. And so, like, basically you get rid of all the people that are killing other people and selling drugs and stealing things, and then everything gets better for everybody else. It's actually a pretty simple solution. And it's crazy how easy it is to make it work. And the problem, I think, is that in America, it's viewed as a bad thing. But the truth is that you're not doing the people there any favors by letting them get terrorized by these psychos. And I think that's the worst part about it, is that you have these, you know, I think these are people living in gated communities that have, like, these high-minded ideals of, like, oh, let's defund the police. These are the people that need the police the most.
So, you know, like...
It's very good. Who gave him that line? Do you think I can use that?
Yes. And in fact, Mr. President, you have 350 million people to liberate. Yeah.
I think it's so sad, okay? I think it's so sad that Asmongold is glazing a dictator, okay? A foreign dictator. It's so sad. It's just so sad to see, dude. I don't know what it is.
People, you have to imprison some.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way it works, right? You cannot just, you know...
It's like... Yeah.
Free the criminals and think crime's going to go down magically. You have to imprison them so you can liberate 350 million Americans that are asking for the end of crime and the end of terrorism. And it can be done. I mean...
He's not wrong, but the trick is that to just ignore that, you're likely imprisoning a ton of innocent people to put away the bad people. I don't even know why you're extending any kind of grace or charity to this situation, because it's so extreme to the point where there can be no grace or charity extended to the situation. It's just straight up sad. you know? I don't think nuance is important here. I don't think any nuance should be given to this, all right? Like, period. Because when you give a situation nuance, you are, you know, kind of contributing to the badness of the situation, right? I don't know, kind of. It's not grace. It's okay. But you're applying nuance, right? I don't know. Like you're not doing anything wrong. I agree with you. Okay? But there's just no debate here. This guy is, yeah, I like to see how Asmongold would feel if he was the one who wrongfully imprisoned, or his family. Well, remember, Trump is now floating the idea of American citizens that could get imprisoned in El Salvador. So it's not out of the question, technically, without due process. It's just not out of the question. The American empire, okay, the American empire can now just simply disappear you, and you just show up in El Salvador 2 days later.
You're right. Already. And I'm sure that people have seen the change in the streets. A long way to go, because you're just initiating your second term. But it's clear that, you know, with the numbers at the border, you know, when even in Democrat-run cities, they get help from the work you're doing. So I'm really happy to be here, honored, and eager to help.
Well, we had a terrible thing happen. We had an administration that allowed people to come in freely into our country from not only South America, but from all over the world. Many from the Congo and Africa, Asia, all over the world, Europe, rough parts of Europe. And they came from prisons, and they came from mental institutions, and they came from gangs, and the gangs of Venezuela and other places. And hundreds of thousands and even millions of them came. 21 million people altogether, but many of the people that came, just a tremendous percentage of them were criminals, in some cases violent criminals. We had 11,088 known murderers, half of them
11,088 known.
More than one person. This was allowed by a man who what he did to our country is just unbelievable. So we're straightening it out, we're getting him out. But what they did and what that party did to our country, open borders, anybody could come in. As soon as I heard that, I said, every prison's going to be emptied out into our country. That's what happened. And we're straightening it out. And we just had numbers. We had the highest recruiting numbers in the history of our country going into police departments. And a year ago, we had the lowest.
Fucking obviously. It's the same reason as the military. Who the fuck wants to serve and be a professional cuck? People that want to be police officers want to, some of them are just assholes, of course. But many of them want to do a good thing. Why the fuck would you want to go and be a police officer if you're just going to get cucked with everything?
You couldn't hire a
biggest change.
Yeah. Nobody's ever seen it. And the military now, Marines, the Army, Air Force, Coast Guard, every slot is, I mean, we have the best numbers we've ever had. We call it recruitment numbers. And we've never had anything like it. We had records on at every single level.
Yeah, as a military too.
Very important, the policemen. The policemen are joining forces now. That we really were having a hard time with policemen because we weren't protecting our police. Yeah. And we cherish our police. The police are great, and the firemen and everybody else.
Absolutely.
But we have the highest numbers that.
By the way, this is not to discount the over 100 police officers that have been injured on January 6 years ago. As a direct consequence of Donald Trump, or to discount the police officers who have committed suicide due to January 6. We don't talk about these. Okay? We don't talk about any of these people.
We've ever had the most.
Do you know who hates the police? White liberals that live in gated communities.
Donald Trump. Okay.
We have great enthusiasm on trade and other things. We're doing great. We're taking in billions and billions of
Karens.
dollars. We made 2 weeks ago. I gave them a little bit of a pause because you have to show a little flexibility. We go back to what we have to do. The markets have been.
I like how I like how how fast Asmongold just drops. Like you know who we hate? White women. I fucking hate white women. Like every single time, it's like, oh, I hate white women. I hate Karens. Again, Karen is a slur for white women. Okay, it's not disputed. It's just something you refer to as white women derogatorily. Okay, it's like calling white people crackers, right?
Very strong once they got used to it, but we were losing.
And I'm sure Asmongold would agree with that, right? Asmongold would agree that cracker is a slur to white people. Like if he ever felt threatened. So why isn't Karen a slur towards white women?
$2 billion a day. There's no company big like this, but this is the biggest deal ever made. Now we're making
Who knows?
$3 billion a day.
What?
We're a great country,
When
but
do
we
I
have
get it?
stupid people running this country. And I can say it. Well, what they've done to us at the border should never and can never be forgotten. It's a sin, what they did. And you are helping us out. And we appreciate it.
That's right. That's right.
Actually, what you're doing with the border is remarkable. It has dropped, what, 95%? It's incredible.
It's been more than that.
As of this morning, 99%, 99.1% to be exact.
Why are those numbers not in the media?
Yeah, no, like, because it was like there were like apparently like 11,000 people that got in, like I think it was in like February, and then like last year, and then like this year it was one person got in. Honestly, I feel like if you can get in and you can outmaneuver the military and you can get across, I feel like you probably should just get citizenship. Like at this point, like that's impressive to me. It is. That's impressive. Yeah.
I think he says that because his type is Asian woman. I'm not gonna lie, even people who has a yellow fever isn't even like this hateful, okay? Like we are literally approaching 2020 levels of Vosh misogyny, okay? Like we are actually we are actually approaching 2020 levels of Vosh misogyny. Do you guys remember how misogynistic Vosh was, even though he's technically on the left? Like he was talking about bending over congresswomen and then fucking them, right? And he was also talking about like, oh, you're dressed that way or whatever, right? Like all the time, every single time he's up against like a white woman. It's kind of like the same with Asmongold now. Like whenever you see a white woman, it's like, there you go, Karen. It's like even if they have nothing to do with the situation whatsoever, right? Or he just automatically generalizes them to that, right? You're grasping at straws. What straws? What straws here? What straws am I grasping at? You respond or you're getting perma.
You deserve, like, at least you get a green card for a while, right? Like, one, that's amazing. Yeah, like, that's impressive. Yeah, like Takashi Castle, exactly.
Well, they get out with the fake news, you know, like CNN over here doesn't want to put them out because they don't like putting out good numbers. They only like putting out because I think they hate our country, actually. But it's
He says it.
You made a huge assumption out of nowhere. Okay, what's the assumption? What's the assumption?
And he just pauses and looks at him and smiles. Yeah, hear that?
It's a shame. You're right. Isn't that a great question? Why doesn't the media? Why don't they put out numbers?
Yeah, 99%. I mean, it's crazy, right?
We're doing
It's
great.
a crazy turnaround.
Christy, could you maybe say a couple of words about the border? How we're doing?
You know, it's just been absolutely phenomenal what a great leader can do. Clear direction. Our laws matter. We should only have people in our country that love us, and the Border Patrol and our ICE officers and law enforcement officers have done fantastic work. So we're proud of them.
Wait, we should only have people in our country who love us? Is that really what she said? Or maybe she doesn't mean it? Maybe she misspoke? Hopefully she misspoke. You made the assumption that Asmon has yellow fever? Well, I'm only going off of the very clear evidence that Asmongold has basically only dated Asian chicks and only looks at Asian chicks and only like goes after Asian chicks and lives in the same living space as Asian chicks, right? Was that the huge assumption that you were talking about here?
Now we just need to get the criminals and murderers and
The same person who constantly talks about Emaru?
Yeah.
rapists and dangerous gang members and terrorist organizations out of our country. So, Mr. President Bukele, we thank you very much for your partnership. It has been wonderful for us to be able to have somewhere to send the worst of the worst and someone to partner with.
That's right. We send
and
them
we'd
to
like
super
to
jail.
continue that partnership because it's been a powerful message of consequences. Mr. President, you wanted people to know that there was consequences if you break our laws and harm our people and endanger families. And this is a clear consequence for
See,
the
that's
worst.
what I was saying, is that if you know that you're being sent to super jail if you fuck around, I guarantee you there's going to be less people that want to fuck around. That's a fact. Yeah, literally, who doesn't want to deport these people? People that never have to live with the consequences of not deporting them. That's the answer. It's a luxury position that's held by people that never have to be held accountable for it.
To the worst, that we have somewhere to put them.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we even had this gang member from Venezuela, one of the ones you sent, and
Yeah.
we interviewed him just to get some information, etc. from them. And he said, "Oh, well, I got arrested 6 times, but they released me the 6th time, so I should be released again." And then we said, "Well, what's the last thing you do?" And he said, "Well, I shot a cop in the leg, but I
What?
didn't kill him. I just shot him in the leg."
I was like, yeah, why do they have me in jail?
Emery is his friend. Why can't you talk about his friend? Okay, do you mean his friend or do you mean... I mean, I could be wrong. Look, even if they have not dated, okay? Even if they have not dated, you can't deny, okay? You can't deny, all right? Like, even if you discount that part, what about all the other parts? That was Miskiff? Yeah, I was confusing them.
Bro, he's not even dead. What's this uptight shit?
And we're like, this guy was arrested 6 times here in the United States. 6 times. He was
Yeah.
released 6 times. And in the last, no, he was released 5 times. And the last time he was sent to El Salvador, right? So he's not getting released. But the last time he shot a cop, actually, and he shot him in the leg. So these are.
Gee, guys, I wonder why people don't want to join the police.
Just a reminder, okay, he was talking about the people who were locked up and whatever, okay? 75% of the, 75% of the people who were sent to El Salvador are innocent, okay? I mean, they have no prior criminal record at the very least, all right? Like, again, you're assumed innocent until you're proven guilty, in which they are not proven guilty. Okay, so this is why I call them innocent. This is why I say that they're innocent, because you're always going to be assumed innocent until you're proven guilty. They're not proven guilty, and they have no prior criminal record, so there's no reason to think that they're guilty.
Force. Well, I don't know. Maybe people don't like being they don't want to sign up to be a target dummy.
Like you said, yeah, there's something broken.
The liberal establishment, but they're not running things anymore in this country, and we're run by, and I don't say conservative, I don't say anything, we're run by people with great common sense.
Yeah, common sense.
Because it's all common sense. It's not liberal conservative, it's common sense.
Exactly.
And, like, do you allow men to play in women's sports? Do you allow men to box? Your women and box? 'Cause I know
I really don't just think it's men in women's sports, right? Like, again, this is a total this is a total distraction of an issue, okay? It's not a real issue. This is not a real issue, okay? This is a distraction. We're talking about less than 1% of the 1%. It's 0.01% or something that this fucking thing is even relevant, okay? It's so funny how 1% of the population takes up 99% of the conservative discourse when the real focus should have always been on the economy, whether or not people get due process, what Elon Musk is doing to the government. All of these reasons should be the reasons why people should be paying attention, not this incredibly fringe, immensely fringe. Most people probably haven't even met a trans person or talked to them or even talked to, an actual transgender person before,
we have a lot of boxing.
That's violence.
That's abuse of a
violence
woman.
against women.
It's abuse of a
Totally.
woman. But we have people that fight to the
Yeah, it's violence against women. Exactly, it is. It's so obvious. Duh. Fucking duh. Of course.
death because they think men should be able to play in women's sports, and some of those sports it wouldn't
No,
matter.
you're right. He is really orange today.
Like if you think about it, Asmongold is exactly the kind of person who would defend the boss saying, "But my goldfish died today," in response to someone saying, "But my mom died." This is like, this is how insignificant the whole transports thing is, okay? It's like if you had lunch with your boss and you said, "My mom died yesterday and I want some days off because I need to grieve." Okay? And then your boss goes, Yeah, so, but my goldfish died today. And then, like, at least say that you feel sorry for me and my goldfish. And then the employee says, well, that was kind of insensitive. Like, I feel as though, like, my mom just died. Like, I mean, I feel like it's not really comparable. Like, you know, I just don't think it's that comparable. And then Asmongold say, see, there you go. Okay, there you go. Okay, this simple-minded liberal, all right, can't even get around common sense to feel bad for a person whose goldfish died. There you go. There you have it, guys. There you have it. All right. This is what essentially Asmongold says or does or whatever. This is the equivalent. Okay, it's literally the equivalent. Okay, it's like the economy is crashing, the dollar value is going haywire, everything is going bottoms up, fucking whatever. And then Asmongold is still like bending backwards to lick Trump's balls. All right.
Yeah, bro, he got it on thick today.